What's up, beautiful people? It's Sindafam. Welcome to the channel. Today we have this very interesting video from Sowell, and it's titled Sowell on how the war against police harms Black Americans and their businesses. Also, I'm excited to check this one out. Let's check it out.
Chicago residents are speaking out against the defund movement as crime in the Windy City surpassing last year.
What do you think about some local groups, student groups, saying that we should abolish and defund the police?
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Defund police?
Yeah, defund or abolish.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
We need police. Are you
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need police.
San Francisco used to be known as one of America's most beautiful cities. While one of the world's wealthiest metros, San Francisco is also one of the most liberal. In recent years, the city has served as a test bed for many progressive policies that then show up in other parts of the country. These range from offering sanctuary to illegal immigrants, cash payments, and even free marijuana to the city's homeless, decriminalizing property crime, and defunding the police.
Ooh.
The city's depolicing initiative aimed to strip cops of their power to enforce the law.
Wow.
San Francisco resident Doug Wiley says it makes police hesitant to do their jobs.
They fear repercussions, whether it's legal or social or what have you. They fear acting proactively will put them in a beef. And so agencies are broadly saying, hey, there's things that we don't want you to do anymore. Or individual officers slow rolling to a call, making sure that they arrive after everything is done. The consequence of that is increased crime.
Yeah.
Results have been as negative as they were predictable. The city's now more dangerous than 98% of American cities.
98%?
Homelessness and illegal drug use are rampant. Property crimes have skyrocketed to more than 55,000 each year.
What?
In much of the liberal media, large-scale confrontations between police and people who are breaking the law are usually reported in one of two ways. Either the police used excessive force, or they let the situation get out of hand. Any force sufficient to prevent the situation from getting out of hand will be called excessive. And if the police arrive in large enough numbers to squelch disorder without the need for using any force at all, then sending in so many cops will be called overreacting. After all, with so little resistance to the police, why were so many cops necessary? Such is the mindset of the media. Add the volatile factor of race, and the media will have a field day. If an incident involves a white cop and a black criminal, you don't need to know the specific facts to know how liberals in the media will react. You can predict the words and the music. Heather McDonald of the Manhattan Institute does have the facts, however, in her new book, Are Cops Racist? Unfortunately, those who most need to read this book are the least likely to do so.
Yes.
They have made up their minds and don't want to be confused by facts. For the rest of us, this is a very enlightening and very readable little book.
Yes.
Ms. McDonald first tackles the issue of racial profiling by the police and shows what shoddy and even silly statistical methods were used to gin up hysteria. Then she moves on to police shootings and other law enforcement issues. Suppose I were to tell you that, despite the fact that blacks are just 11% of the American population, more than half the men fined for misconduct while playing professional basketball are black, and concluded that this shows the NBA to be racist. What would your reaction be? Wait a minute, you might say. More than half the players in the NBA are black, so that 11% statistic is irrelevant.
Exactly.
That is exactly what is wrong with racial profiling statistics.
Yeah.
It is based on blacks as a percentage of the population, rather than blacks as a percentage of the people who do the kinds of things that cause police to stop people and question them. A professor of statistics who pointed this out was, all too predictably, denounced as a racist. Other statisticians kept quiet for fear of being smeared the same way. We have now reached the dangerous point where ignorance can silence knowledge,
Yes.
and where facts get squelched by beliefs.
Thank you, sir.
Heather McDonald also goes into facts involving police shootings, especially when the cops are white and the suspect is black. Here again, an education awaits those who are willing to be educated. People in the media are forever expressing surprise at how many bullets were fired in some of these police shootings. As someone who once taught pistol shooting in the Marine Corps, I am not the least bit surprised. What surprises me is how many people whose ignorance of shooting is obvious do not let their ignorance stand in the way of reaching sweeping conclusions about situations that they have never faced.
Yes.
To some, it is just a question of taking sides. If it is a white cop and a black suspect, then that is all they feel a need to know.
Yeah.
The greatest contribution of this book is in making painfully clear the actual consequences of cop bashing in the media and in politics. The police respond to incentives, like everyone else. If carrying out their duties in the way that gets the job done best is going to bring down on their heads a chorus of media outrage that can threaten their whole careers, many cops tend to back off. And who pays the price of their backing off? Mainly those blacks who are victims of the criminals in their midst.
Yes.
Drug dealers and other violent criminals have been the beneficiaries of reduced police activity and of liberal judges throwing out their convictions because of racial profiling. These criminals go back to the black community, not the affluent, suburban, and often gated communities where journalists, judges, and politicians live.
Wow. Talk about defunding the police. Are you kidding me? Wow, wow, wow. I don't know when exactly this was done or this speech was made, but talk about Dr. Thomas Sowell being a prophet is here, because most likely sometimes some things he writes in his books or he talks about in his books would not happen immediately. It will happen few years later or few years down the line. And imagine seeing this, what California is turning into. Crazy bunch of craziness. Talk about defunding the police. They don't need, of course, because lots of people, they fed the narrative that police is as long as is involved a white police, a white cop, and a black criminal, therefore the white police is always at fault. Is actually right, and I still will not understand the craziness. So what they're trying to tell me is that blacks have got no fault in anything. I saw a particular video recently where the white cop pulled over a black man for driving 100 kilometers per hour on a freeway. That was illegal, but cop asked him to get out of the car, and he said he ain't doing that. Like, it don't make sense to me. And then they went on and they started wrestling. He started wrestling with the police, with a cop, over a ticket, and he apparently lost his life. And now people are saying it's police brutality. It was just simple, obey simple order. I don't know how people can just move on their life and just act irrationally and think it is okay. No, it's not. What happened to simple human decency? I still will not understand the craziness with all of this. And it's how, like I said, is how people, the ignorant ones, are the ones wanting to silence the ones with the fact, and they don't even care to learn about the fact. They're just with the ideology, just because there's a certain societal statistics or societal data that has made a certain thing normal. Therefore, people can be just fine running with that. It don't make sense to me. Honestly, this is crazy. But of course, if they say they don't want police and you are now calling on the cops, what do you need them for? You don't need them. You can go on fine and live the life that you don't involve police. But guess what? Who's gonna suffer it? Same you that would suffer it. Because what? The police are there for for protection, to do their job. But of course, some people don't even like. Some people just like to live in lawlessness, and it's crazy. It don't make sense. But of course, let's check what other people are saying on this. I'm gonna pull up some comments to read here. Someone commented, every sentence that comes out of this man's mouth is brilliant. Exactly true. I mean, I've learned a lot from Thomas Sowell, and I'm not going to take that away from him. He's very intelligent and brilliant. I must acknowledge him for that, and I would encourage lots of people to also take our time to learn from Dr. Thomas Sowell. Someone commented, his clear-headed responses and brilliance is analyzing objective everything is outstanding. I am in awe of this man, and I really am in awe of anyone or anything. Yeah, he's very, like, it's so astonishing to have somebody like Thomas Sowell, but yet is so underrated, and people don't even value how much of importance it is to have someone like Thomas Sowell speak or share knowledge. Is wow. God bless Dr. Thomas Sowell. Someone commented, cops are people. Some are just bullies with power, and some are good people who want to make a difference. Thank you, Dr. Thomas Sowell, for being a voice of intelligent common sense in a time of insane stupidity. Also, yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, sometimes some cops can be such a bully, but that does not change the fact that you just have to respect them while they are on their job. Because no offense here, but sometimes people should just recognize that once the cops are on duty and they are doing their job, just respect them, ask the necessary questions that needed to be asked, and be respectful to them. I think that will just save a lot when it comes to interaction between both parties. But yeah, someone also commented, as usual, it's part of the story. Some police are authoritarian, hinder to the power, while some citizens look to what being told or anything. Answer, defund jail authoritarian police, as well as those that make life difficult for the rest of the society. Maybe they should share a jail cell. I wouldn't necessarily say defund authoritarian police, because sometimes some of these people, they are needed because sometimes they encounter some difficult people while on duty, so that energy is needed in those cases. But sometimes some of them don't act right. They just use that power based on the fact that they want to place everybody on the same level. Some people can be crazier than some people, and some people can be respectful than some other people. So it's just to balance and match the energy as it meets. I think that is just perfectly fine to run with. I mean, that's my own opinion. I mean, I'm not countering you to say my opinion is better than yours. You have a reason for sharing your opinion on this, and I have a reason for sharing my opinion on this. It's not my opinion should have the more opposing voice. I mean, everybody can run with it. Whatever rocks their boat or whatever suits everybody's fine. But yeah, these are a few comments that I pulled up on this video. And yeah, I would love your contribution on this. What are your thoughts about this? What are your thoughts about the fact that lots of people, especially in the blue states, they are of the opinion to defund the police, and they don't want police or cops in their area and the likes? I really love your thoughts on the comment down below. I mean, everybody have got different opinion regarding subject matters and topics like this. I really love your honest contribution to this. You can share all the useful information you think might be really helpful. And until next time, see you in the next video.